So thank you everyone for coming today. It's great to have everyone here around the table so we can chat about Trevor and who'll be joining us soon. So Trevor just actually registered at the end of last week, which is perfect. And we have sent in an OSR request for his to his school appeal. So maybe we'll just start. We'll just go around and introduce ourselves. So as I mentioned already, I'm Sean McCarthy. I'm the principal here.
And I'm Jonathan Kenna. I'm the special education teacher here. And just to make you aware, I'll be making notes on our special education engine about everything that we discuss here today.
And I'm Shelley Michalak, so I'm the instructional program lead for special education. Part of my role is to support the school in Trevor's transition.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Iaconte. I'm with CAS in Toronto and I'm Trevor's CAS caseworker.
I'm Emma Flipwist. I am going to be Trevor's new classroom teacher in the school.
Amanda Mascola. I believe I know everyone at the table here as I'm the child and youth counselor. However, nice to meet you. We did speak briefly on the phone as I obtained informed consent to be here today.
Excellent. So I know that Trevor's foster parents were not able to make it today, but I just want to make sure I'm clear. So at this point in time, CAS is the custodian, has custody for Trevor?
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
Yes, we have for
Perfect.
a number of years, yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. So maybe if you could just give us, we have a little bit of background just from the conversation that we had over the phone last week when you called about registering him. But maybe you could just tell us a little bit about Trevor.
Yeah, sure. So as I was saying, I'm the case manager for Trevor, and Trevor's been under CAS care since he was 8. He's currently 14 years old. So he's going to be moving into the neighborhood in a couple of weeks. He'll be moving into a foster home that's in your school catchment. This will be his 3rd foster home since he was removed from the home when he was 8. It's also going to be his 5th school that he has attended. So there's been lots of transitions in this young man's life. We did just currently get an updated psych assessment. So CAS had this done privately. So I have a copy that I can share with you today. So there's lots of information in here. There's been a new diagnosis of MID and ASD.
And Ashley,
So that's new for Trevor.
Sorry, Ashley, I'm going to be giving you a consent form so that we can review that and I can share it with our psychoeducational consultant.
Sure, yeah, no problem. So just a couple of pieces around the information that we've gathered from here so you have a better understanding of what some of Trevor's strengths are. So gross motor skills for him are definitely a strength. He really enjoys physical activity and sports. He is really good at his own personal care and at advocating for himself. He, at a very young age, had to learn to be able to sort of take care of himself in the home. And he is getting really good at using the assistive technology. In meetings we've had at the school, he's using assistive technology for academics in his school, and he's getting really good at using that.
Do you mind me asking, is his technology a CETA claim?
Yes. So it was a prescription through, at the time, it was a OT assessment that was through.
So we can also have that transferred over to our school board then.
Okay, great.
And I don't know if you know this or not, what type of AT he's using currently?
I believe he's currently using a Chromebook.
Okay.
Does he have an iPad as well?
So he has a personal iPad, but not one through school. So one of the things that Trevor does struggle with is his expressive language. He is able to express his needs in sort of a short, full sentence, like 4 or 5 words. But any kind of more complex language or complex conversations, he does find difficult. If you're giving him instructions, it really needs to be sort of like one, they're finding in the foster homes like one instruction. I know the school has said that if you give like one direction, he can follow through, but multiple directions with multiple steps, that's really difficult for him. So if he, is playing with other students or if he's working in the classroom and he is not being able to find the words to express himself, he does show some frustration or if there's too many steps at once and he's done the first one and then can't remember what the other ones are, he will get frustrated in those circumstances.
Do you sorry,
Go ahead,
Do you
please.
know if he had a visual schedule or if they use strategies like first then, and if those were successful?
So I'm not really sure about those specific strategies in the classroom. I do have consent for you to be, like this school, to be sharing information with his current school in Peel. So it would be really good if you want to maybe give them a call and have those conversations around what are the specifics that are happening in the classroom.
So just a couple questions around, you mentioned the frustration, if he's having difficulty being understood. Do you know what that looks like, say in the home setting, in the classroom setting?
So in the home, if he is playing a game or doing some things with the other kids in the home, that will usually look like yelling or pushing. So if they're doing something together and he can't express what he needs, or
Of the other children?
the
or-
other children.
Okay.
So he might not, like, he hasn't injured anybody, but it'll just sort of be like some shoving or some raised
Right.
voice.
Nicole, do you know if he has a behavior safety plan over at his previous school board?
Okay, so he does have a behavior plan just to help him with in terms of managing that frustration. I know is one of the targets that they're working on. And so in terms of the interventions, like I said, making sure that staff are just giving him those one steps, those one directions at a time and chunking pieces, but then also helping him with recognizing when he's getting frustrated and some strategies for that. So whether he's taking some deep breaths, those sort of pieces. He does have a safety plan. So in his current foster home, there has needed to be some calls to police because Trevor has climbed out of the window at home and been out on the roof trying to escape the home. So there is a worry about him leaving property at foster home and then again also at school. That's another thing. Sorry, I should have mentioned. The frustration is he could, like, if he's starting to just get frustrated and banging the table or being louder, he will then just get up and leave the classroom.
Okay.
So that's a concern, is just making sure that you're aware that he will leave the room and potentially the property. So they do have a safety plan in place to sort of, if he leaves school, the classroom and property, what to do. Trevor was removed from the home. Both of his parents have significant mental health needs that they were dealing with, and he also witnessed acts of violence in the home that impacted both of his parents. So because of the sort of trauma that he sustained before the age of 8 in the home, staff will also need to be aware, and you might want to include it in your plans in terms of his intimacy barrier, like how comfortable he is with how close people get to him, can be something they need to be aware of. As they build a relationship with Trevor, as Trevor gets to be more comfortable here and gets to know all of you, that will be easier for him. But we'll really need to be cautious of making sure we're building that relationship before we're getting in too close. Because it can be a little bit of new adult gets close to me, I don't know, that's uncomfortable, that might mean danger.
Okay. So just I had mentioned a couple questions. So there's the piece around the safety plan, the behavior plan. The other thing I was wondering about, we would really like to visit the school as well. Jonathan and Shelley, I would think
Absolutely.
that's something
We'd
that
like
you
to work
guys could
together.
do, just so we can observe him, where he is currently. Is that something that would
Yeah,
be,
that would be great. They would
Okay.
definitely be open for that, and then you'll be able to see, what are some of the strategies that they're using right in the classroom, what that looks like.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So he'll be there for the next 2 weeks still.
Right, okay. And then the other piece I was going to just mention, and Amanda, you can fill me in on the details of this, just around some possible training for our staff around trauma. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, so the board's in new stages of implementing trauma training for teachers, EAs, any staff that are working with students either with a refugee or CAS trauma background. So it definitely looks like something we should look into so that we're using best practice approaches to support our students.
So that's definitely something we can look at, as in the next couple of weeks leading up to Trevor coming here, and also obviously once he's here as well, just to see if that is something that would be helpful and appropriate.
We could put a referral into our board's mental health lead
Right.
for that.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Jonathan, do you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
One thing I was just wondering about, is it possible, because we're looking at, he has 4 to 5 word utterances, so obviously, which can lead to some frustration, maybe bringing him to our school resource team to get our speech and language pathologist involved.
I don't know.
Right,
Access
tips
our
and
team, you can
strategies.
come in.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Look at IEP creation, look at, tweaking what he may be coming to us with, and just, really using the recommendations that are in that psych ed assessment. And then the SLP, you had mentioned having the SLP there as well. So just to really get a really strong program in place and set him up for success as he moves into our building.
I know that he currently is working a couple of grades below
Okay.
grade 8. So although he'll be coming into grade 8,
Sure.
he is working a couple of grades below.
Okay.
And do you have a basketball team here?
We do.
We do.
So he very much enjoys playing basketball. So that would be a really good way to connect with him
Okay.
if you want to get him involved in that.
They are the Halton runners up for last year, so we're hoping for a win this year. So that'll be great. We'll use Trevor's
Be a great asset.
skill set there.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So I know this has been really quick, and I have a bit of information to provide to you, but not a lot. So hopefully you'll be able to get more from the school, and then once he's in the home in the area and the new foster family gets to know him, they can come to those meetings, and then just let me know. And any signed consents will need to come
Of course.
to me as the CAS guardian. And just let me know
Okay.
what else we need before he can start. When do you think that might be? If he's moving into the home 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, when do you think he'll be starting school?
So a couple things. We would love for him to be able to come for a visit. So they would meet with Jonathan and with Emma and have a chance to, just acquaint himself with the school, see where his locker is, see where the gym is for get him ready for our basketball team. And then I'm wondering, Jonathan, because you mentioned he has a Chromebook and he has a personal iPad.
Yeah, he has an iPad that
So
he has.
Yeah, we have a great idea. We were thinking that perhaps he could bring his iPad with him, and he can videotape his tour, and he could take some pictures or some videos of parts of the tour that are meaningful to him, something that could be special that he can review before he comes.
Definitely. That's a great idea.
excellent. Okay. And then the other thing is, I think once he's ready to start, just based on his struggles around transitions, just that being a bit of a need area for him. I'm wondering if it would be a good idea to. I think it would be a good idea to have him come kind of a staggered entry approach. Do you have any questions for us?
No.
Okay. Is there any? I mean, Jonathan, we'll get you just, if you don't mind, just to summarize. But
Sure.
prior to that, is there any other questions for Ashley before we summarize?
No, I don't think so.
Excellent. We're really looking forward to him joining us. He sounds like especially since he's a basketball player. We're really looking forward to him joining us, and I think we'll have a good plan in place to support
Okay, great.
that transition for him. So, Jonathan, if you feel
Sure, I'll just summarize our action plan.
Okay.
So to start, Shirley and I, we're going to pay a visit to the school. We'll try to meet Trevor and his teachers and just get to know him and what's working, and then we'll share with you when we come back. Trevor's then going to visit our school and go on a little tour. We hope that Trevor can bring his iPad so that he can take a video of his tour and any important details that are meaningful to him. We're going to be starting with a staggered entry. So the staggered entry, we're going to start with going up to the first nutrition break, and then Trevor will be going home. And we'll keep that open and flexible as we increase that time that he's at school, and we can look and review that each day. We hope to then share the psych ed assessment with Mrs. Wilson, our board's consultant. And after our meeting, I'll just get consent from you so that we can share that with her right away. Our CYC Amanda is going to to seek support from our HDSB trauma team so that we can implement that here at school with training. Our CYC and CERT, that would be me, we're going to be creating a behavior and safety plan working together in creating that specifically around leaving the school property. At our next SRT, which is coming up soon, We'll be looking for support from our speech and language pathologist in helping with that expressive language. We're also going to be seeking support from our CYC to make it more of a longer term time that he can meet with Amanda. And finally, we'll be looking to create a draft IEP that will help address some of those accommodations and perhaps modifications to his programming to make him successful here at school.
Okay, great. Thanks. Sounds like a lot of work you guys have to do.
We're looking forward to it.